Mega Mike the Movie Man back with another post-game show for you all. Today we're going to be going over the new Pixar movie, Lightyear. I am joined today by my co-host,
Amazing Anna.
And what we're going to do with this post-game show is we're actually going to break it up into 10 discussion questions, yes, 10 of them, the usual, to go ahead and talk about the movie and review it for you all. But before we get into that, make sure you subscribe right now if you're just discovering the channel for the very first time, because we're going to continue to get you more pre-game and post-game shows. You're going to want to turn on those notifications so we can cover that all for you in the future. So we're going to get into our questions right now, but spoiler warning is in effect here. This is a post-game show, so there's definitely going to be tons of spoilers here. Just wanted to warn you all. But let's get into our very first question here. What did we think of the overall story and script for this movie? So this movie actually has a very interesting premise set up right away. We find out that this movie is based off of the Buzz Lightyear toy. Well, the Buzz Lightyear toy is based off the movie because Andy basically saw this movie, and then that's why he got the Buzz Lightyear toy. Apparently he really liked this movie, and that's how it opens up, with basically just text on screen letting us know this is that movie. So we're like, ooh, okay, we're in kind of an interesting ride here with this movie, because obviously this got Andy so excited from the Toy Story franchise, he had to go get Buzz Lightyear. So what did you think of that initial premise, Anna, of how it opened? Did you expect this movie to be based on that, the actual Buzz Lightyear movie itself?
I didn't know that it was based off exactly of that Buzz Lightyear toy that Andy got. I thought it was actually going to be like a continuation from the last Toy Story movie, but when that popped up, I was like, oh my god, okay, like this is interesting, because when we were born, Toy Story first one barely just started coming out, so we barely started finding out about Andy. So I think it was interesting to kind of look at the new Buzz Lightyear movie and see how it was started based on that toy.
Yeah, interesting premise. So yeah, it's definitely not really connected to the other Toy Story movies.
No, not at all.
No, it's its own Buzz Lightyear story.
And now I know why Andy wanted the toy.
And so we got directly into the movie here. And it was also interesting how they set up basically like the first 10-15 minutes of this movie. Basically, Buzz Lightyear is exploring or going on a mission with a colony of people, and he lands on this planet, basically gets stuck there. He made a mistake, and now he's trying to figure out how to get off this planet. But what's interesting here is that when he tries to fly and he goes into hyperspace, he doesn't age that much. Everybody else back on planet, though, is aging 4 years every time. So he keeps trying to solve this issue. How do we get off planet? And then more and more in time pass for the people on the planet, and they're getting older. So he has Space Ranger friends, basically, that are aging. He has a really good friend, the one that he does Infinity to Beyond to. That one is getting older, living her life. She becomes a grandma, she gets a partner, she gets a kid, and just has this whole life without Buzz Lightyear, without her friend. And so I thought that was a really dramatic way to set up this movie. Anna, what did you think of that part?
I thought it was very interesting to know that Buzz Lightyear was only aging by a few minutes while they were aging 4 years ahead. It was crazy how they did that, because when you experience the movie, it's like, oh, he's already done, he's already back. So it was crazy to see how time worked in that area and how they made time work in that movie. It was very interesting to see that the life was moving on. I didn't think that was going to happen, so that was the total shocker to me that they made it that way. But once it said that, then I kind of knew, like, oh, they're gonna start their own life, and while he's over here trying to figure things out, and if they're moving 4 years and waiting for him, things are bound to happen. I like the representation that they did. They brought a lot of diversity, so that one was really cool. It was really cool to see another story in a story. So.
Yeah, but it was a really somber way to start it off, because I did kind of feel bad for Buzz Lightyear, because Buzz Lightyear made this mistake. He's trying to fix it, but as he's trying to fix it, then he's not having a life like his fellow friend and other rangers on the planet. So that was kind of a sad, but we know Pixar is known for the sad openings,
I was
right?
gonna say that, like,
Yes.
Disney,
Which one were you thinking of with a sad Pixar opening there?
My favorite is Up. So you already know Up,
the
like,
tearjerker.
yeah, like they always get you, even in the movie Soul. Like, there's different movies that you notice that, and Disney's known for this as well, that they're gonna play a sad moment in this, no matter what. It's like that they have to get you in some kind of way, but at the end of the day, it does always end with happiness.
So I know Pixar does that quite a bit, but for some reason here, it wasn't hitting me as emotionally as some of those other movies. Was it hitting you emotionally, Amazing Anna? Was it impacting you? Or was it a little bit lighter? Because I know, like, when you see Up, you're like, oh my goodness, like tears.
You relate to it. This one, I guess I kind of didn't relate to it as much, just because, obviously the part where, the friend dies, because of old age, she's getting old, so she's gonna die eventually. So I think that kind of just, I was kind of like, oh, like, that's sad. Like, I felt the emotion, but it wasn't strong enough to make me cry.
And so we have those characters that basically get aged out right in the beginning. We get introduced to them, but then they're gone pretty quickly after that. And then we get these new group of characters, these new space rangers, and then Buzz Lightyear ends up going on a space adventure with them, basically trying to escape. He's kind of like on lockdown for a period of time because there's like big changes happening while he's off planet trying to fix his mistake. And basically he escapes.
They made him.
Yeah.
They made him kind of be like, oh, this mission that you're doing is officially over.
Yeah.
Too, so
they canceled him. They locked him down.
Canceled out.
Yeah. They shut him down. They shut that mission down quickly, and then that basically kicks off the main story, where then he escapes. Meets up with, a group of, misfits, basically, I guess you could say. And so I thought that was an interesting premise. So I liked how they did bring in some new characters for this one. I thought that was a really cool idea. And then basically Buzz Lightyear is a character out of time the whole time. He's kind of playing a catch up on the space adventure and learning from the misfit characters that he just met.
I kind of noticed as well, Mega Mike, he was kind of playing like a dad figure in this movie.
That's why it got released Father's Day weekend. That makes sense.
Because he's now taking care of his friend's granddaughter. So he's kind of playing like a father figure, leader kind of way. You think about it, know?
Okay, yeah. I didn't initially think of that, but that's a good point to bring up.
These are young, new cadets, you're new. And then when you get to the end, you see that, oh, we're gonna give you now. You're gonna be the top guy. You're gonna be the trainer of the space cadets. We're bringing that mission. That, what was it called? That team back now, right?
Yes. And so basically, he's on this escape path, you could say, with this group of characters. But then, of course, they bring into a villain into the story, which we'll talk about the villain a little bit later. They have to deal with all that issue, and then basically by the end of it, they pretty much learned some things along the way. There's definitely some messages and themes throughout this movie. So, you know what? The story for me was okay. To me, it wasn't as hard-hitting as some of the other Pixar movies to me, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. But they did some different things with the story. Some twists and turns in there. They did, try to subvert expectations here and there. So, they were pretty bold on what they did with the story here. So I appreciate them trying out some different things here. Overall, just in general, Amazing Anna, how do you feel about how the story played out for you?
So if you saw my out of theater experience, on Mega Mike's channel, I actually really like this movie. I'm a big Pixar fan. I love movies, animated movies. To me, I did not watch the trailers beforehand. I did not knew what to expect. Again, because I'm such a big Pixar fan, I really enjoyed the movie. I think it was really cute. There was a lot of stories and themes like you were saying. Yes, there's some things that I would have changed, but every movie has some kind of flaw, right? So overall, I enjoyed it. It was great. I probably won't see it again, but it
Mm.
was definitely a good time, worth going to see in theaters.
So, but you liked how the story played out.
Yeah.
You liked the messages they were going
Yeah.
for, the themes.
I can see what they were trying to portray. So, there was the things that I didn't like, but overall, I think it was a good movie and the good storyline.
Okay. And so let's talk a little bit about the script with this as well, the dialogue of the characters, because that's also a big part to the story as well. So to me, I don't know. I felt the script was a little off here. I didn't think it was terrible, but I felt some of the dialogue sometimes was they would do some jokes here and there, but I wouldn't laugh at all the jokes. Now they did have some laugh out loud moments, and we'll get to those specific characters here in a little bit. But to me, not every joke hit, not every line hit. So it was a mixed bag for me. It was kind of, hit or miss on some of the dialogue, some of the banter back and forth, some of the dialogue they probably wanted it to be very emotional. I didn't feel as emotionally moved by it. So it was kind of back and forth for me. But Anna, just overall, what'd you think of the dialogue between the characters, the banter back and forth, the jokes, all of that?
I think the dialogue was pretty. There was a few parts that I liked. Like the beginning, I didn't really care about the script. It's once like the Socks, the character, was introduced, the dialogue between him and Buzz Lightyear, I think that was great. The young new space cadets, I think their dialogue was, their script was really good. Once it hit to the like a little bit towards the end, I was like, like. I'm kind of falling asleep here. What's going on,
So it kind of slowed down for you a little bit.
It did. And then at the end, obviously with the it being close to the end already, then it kind of picked up a little bit, and I was like, okay, I'll still sit here and watch it still.
Okay, awesome. So this is going to get us to our second question here, and this is an important one. What did we think of Buzz Lightyear? Yes, the title main character. So this is a character that is now voiced by Chris Evans, not the classic Buzz Lightyear, Tim Allen. No, this isn't the Buzz Lightyear toy. This is an actual Buzz Lightyear. So they kind of get away with it, using a different voice actor. They can say, hey, it's not really the same Buzz Lightyear here, right? That was a toy representation. This is an actual Buzz Lightyear. But I do think Chris Evans, for a voice replacement, basically, actually did a pretty good job. I actually did like his voice. I mean, Captain America. You can't go wrong with Captain America's voice, right? So Chris Evans' voice, I think, worked for the character. Overall, though, the character for me, to me, once again, a mixed bag character. I liked how you mentioned he was like the father figure, the mentor figure. But I was kind of hoping for more him to be like the gladiator type of figure, more of, I guess, gun-ho into action kind of character. And yeah, he kind of was that in certain parts, but I don't know. He wasn't as, I don't know, exciting to me as hopefully they're probably trying to go for. To me, the character was just kind of, it was all right. It was an okay character. So that's how I felt about Buzz Lightyear. How did you feel about Buzz Lightyear, Amazing Anna?
I really like it. I don't know if you remember when we were watching the movie, I asked you, I was like, is this the original Buzz Lightyear voice? And you were like, no. And then I was like, oh, okay, I can kind of tell, but at the same time, I couldn't tell at first. But I did notice that once you told me that, I was like, oh, okay, now I don't really care about him because I would want the original one, because that's Buzz Lightyear. That's what we know Buzz Lightyear as,
That's a Buzz Lightyear you grew up with.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought that was gonna be it, and it wasn't that. I can't complain about Chris Evans. He's a great person. Stay as Captain America. I'm sorry, but yeah. I didn't really care about Buzz Lightyear, unfortunately.
So yeah, Buzz Lightyear to me was not the star of the show here, even though it was his name.
He kind of seemed a little too like what is it called?
Out of place, or
I guess he could
distant, maybe.
I guess he could feel out of place because the whole time travel.
Out of time.
Yeah, but he kind of was a little jerk in some parts.
He was, yeah.
Like
he did have that personality.
That little jerk. Yeah, exactly. Personality. I don't want to say the word on here, but it starts with a C. But yeah,
overconfident.
There you go. There you
maybe
go. Thank you.
A little overconfident.
Thank you. Yeah,
because he's used to being a big space ranger, and he feels that gives him a lot of authority there.
But that's one of the lessons that he learned in the movie. That was one of the messages, actually.
So, that rely on other people, work as a team. That was a good message. I like that thing.
But also that it's okay to make a mistake.
Yes.
That's okay.
Yeah, so mixed bag character for me. I like the points you brought up, though. Those themes, I think, did work for him by the end of the movie.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just wasn't connecting to him as much as the toy Buzz Lightyear from the Toy Story movies.
Exactly.
I know we're comparing here, but hey, we have to. It's a very similar character here. We got to make these comparisons. So yeah, we're both, I guess, a little underwhelmed by the Buzz Lightyear character and the voice change, unfortunately. It wasn't terrible, though. It just wasn't, amazing either. Yeah. So this gets us to our third question here. What did we think of the supporting characters here? The supporting Space Rangers, you could say, the supporting team. Now, we got a good little variety of them, and they were all kind of like misfit characters, characters you wouldn't expect to be teamed up with Buzz Lightyear and to be all Space Rangers. Yeah. So let's talk about some of these characters here. We had the granddaughter. Who was the granddaughter voiced by again? Amazing Anna?
Keke Palmer.
Yes, and where do you know Keke Palmer from?
Oh, she was a Nickelodeon. She was like the vice president. She's the CEO, vice president movie show. I don't know. It was a Nickelodeon.
Yeah, but she did a good job.
She does movies. She does do movies and shows. Yeah. Yeah,
she did a good job as that character though. So basically, the granddaughter character that's trying to live up the expectations of the grandma, right?
I like Keke. She played a good part. I really liked the way she played.
I think it was Lizzie.
Izzy. Yeah, Izzy. I really like how she played Izzy. She's totally, completely different from her grandma, and she tries to say that a lot. Like, I have to hold up this name because my grandma was, friends with Buzz Lightyear, so she feels like she needs to hold up to that name, not realizing that you can be a whole different other person. And she played that part really, really good.
Yeah, she was a little timid in certain parts, but she was still able to take charge at certain parts, still be a leader at certain part, take certain actions, and actually make some smart decisions as well. So yeah, really good character there. We also get Darby, which you recognized the voice actress for Darby, the one that makes all those.
She's in Orange Is the New Black. She's the older lady that it works in the kitchen and in the garden. If you know what I'm not talking about, I can't really know her name, but she is in Orange Is the New Black. She's a really good character.
But she does a good job in here as Darby. She's like a funny character. She has a lot of
convict.
Yes,
she's a convict. You know what that kind of reminds me of? Also like Suicide Squad. I know this is nothing related.
But that's perfect comparison.
Like Suicide, where they bring these convict people the whole time, and they have to go up to space to do these different activities. Right?
That makes perfect sense.
She's a convict, and she's doing this because she needs to get stuff time out of her parole. Remember?
Yes, I like that, and that makes sense. No, perfectly a good comparison there with Suicide Squad, because this is a team of misfit characters, right? With different, I guess, abilities, you could say. Darby was a good character,
Izzy is the leader of these
of the misfits, so she steps up. She is the leader because, once again, she's trying to fill the shoes of her grandma. So she's a great character. Darby's a great character. Then we also get another character I didn't know was in the movie. We get Mo, who was voiced by Taika Waititi. Now, I was not expecting that at all. Taika Waititi's in everything. Like, oh my goodness, it's like the Taika Waititi renaissance. I know.
He's really good. He's really good and funny.
He's he is great. He's
Yeah.
a great
Yeah, he's
director,
great.
a great writer, a
Yeah.
great actor. I mean, Taika Waititi can do it all.
Yeah.
But I will have to say something here. So usually I think Taika Waititi is amazing in everything. Here, I didn't think it was amazing. I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was all right for how the character was written. But for me, I just didn't like how the character was written the whole time. Because, yeah, he did have a lot of comedic moments. And there were some times I would do some laughing. But there were some times where the jokes did not land for me with his character. And sometimes the jokes would get a little too repetitive. And then I felt like some of it didn't pay off with like the pin. Like, I don't know, sometimes at first I chuckled.
He was entertained.
At first, but it went on too long.
He needed that pin. And it
he's a
saved their
fan of
life,
pins.
okay? And no, it's not that he was a fan of a pin. It's the costume that he got. And everyone had different costumes.
Yes.
And he was just kind of like, he's curious. He's curious, but he's kind of like that dorky, kind of nerdy, like, I'm curious, but at the same time, I'm a little timid and a little scared, kind of like.
Least likely to be a space ranger, probably
like,
out of the bunch.
What the hell? Like, who are you? Why are you putting this person? I do not want you on my team. But he does come in handy when you need him. So he got this costume and he pressed the button and it happened to be a pin.
He really liked the pin.
Yeah. And then he was like, that's cool. Like, you know, why? And then he also probably thought, why do you need a pin?
Yeah.
And then when it came to the end, the pin came in handy. The pin came in handy.
So you're a big fan of that character.
Yeah.
Me, I was kind of okay on the character. But usually, Taika Waititi, I'm usually like amazed by him. Just wasn't amazed this time around. Yeah. But all around how the Space Rangers worked in that group of misfit characters, I think that was a good, fun idea because they were all different, all unique, a lot of different personalities, and how they approached different situations. So I think they all worked together. They had good banter back and forth, some good laughing moments, some good jokes in there. So I like the supporting characters that basically Buzz Lightyear was with. You would say you enjoyed them as well, Amazing Anna?
Yeah, I really liked them. I think they brought a lot of character into this movie. So, again, it's a whole different movie. So what can we expect about these characters? I think they played the part.
So we do have to mention now the best character of the movie. We have not mentioned yet. Socks, the cat robot, is the best character of all time in this movie. Yeah. This character is fantastic. Even if you're not a fan of cats, this cat's going to win you over.
Yeah.
This robot cat is absolutely hilarious. I mean, there's going to be tons of merchandise of this cat. Disneyland everywhere. I can just see it. Socks was a great character. Yeah. Very funny character. Now, when Socks was on screen, I was always laughing with Socks. Socks had a lot of great moments. Also, some fun emotional moments with Buzz Lightyear as well. So they had a good dynamic back and forth.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a really, really good character and was perfect. It definitely what the movie needed. So overall, Amazing Anna, what did you think of Socks?
Yeah, I really like Socks. Socks is his companion that his friend gave him. To him, that, and even there was a found message that, I want you to take care of him. Like this, it seemed like his friend was in this cat all along. And when I saw the cat, I was like, isn't this the same cat from Miss Marvel? And you were like, no,
that's like an alien monster cat.
Like,
the flirting cat.
Maybe the same cat in a different dimension.
It's a crossover.
I don't know, okay?
Buzz Lightyear versus Captain Marvel next.
Okay, but I thought they were the same cat. But yes, the cat, I love the cat. The cat was funny. Yes, the cat made me sad. Yes, it made me laugh. It made me smile. But again, I'm a fan of all characters, except Buzz Lightyear, unfortunately.
Oh my goodness. So you like the misfit characters, the robot cat, better than Buzz Lightyear? Yeah. I agree. But that's not a good sign for the movie. That is not a good sign for the movie. I guess just the other characters were written better. I don't know, more interesting, more intriguing.
They just had more character to it.
More personality to them. That makes sense. So my favorite was definitely Socks.
Yeah. Socks
Did you have a favorite?
I really like Darby. She made me laugh.
Ooh.
And then there was a one part that actually came out on the trailer that made me laugh in the theater. I was busting up laughing. Not gonna lie. I was laughing really hard.
That's awesome. So your favorite's Darby, my favorite is Socks. That's awesome. So they had a good group of supporting characters there. Let's get into our question 4 now. Got to talk about the villain, right? Because the villain was the big part of this movie. Now, I guess we all knew the villain was going to be Zurg, right? Or at least what we thought of Zurg. And I'm a big Zurg fan. Actually, you know what? Zurg is my favorite Buzz Lightyear character traditionally. I always really like Zurg, just the way he looks with the purple and his face. It's just so menacing. So I always thought Zurg was a really, really cool character. Unfortunately, they kind of ruined Zurg for me in this movie. So you're either going to love what they do with Zurg or just despise it. I despised it, unfortunately. So this is a big spoiler warning. Once again, we're going to say here, just to let you know. But this is the big twist to the movie, is that Zurg ends up being a Buzz Lightyear.
In the future.
Wow. Yes. So this was a Buzz Lightyear that did a different path. You can speak a little bit to it, Amazing Anna. So what was this Buzz Lightyear character all about here? This is Zurg.
I guess apparently that when the character said, or once the new leader came into their little village, and told Buzz Lightyear, you're no longer going to be in this program, blah, blah, blah. And instead of Buzz Lightyear going up to hyperspace like he did, and the one that we are all the main character, the future one kind of went somewhere else and ran away and was kind of building and went to a different planet, or he found this ship and nobody was in it, and he started using all this advanced technology and stuff like that to get the crystal, so that way they can go back to the beginning where he made a mistake and got stuck there.
And so he made his Zurg suit to do that. So it's a Buzz Lightyear in a Zurg suit. So that is now Zurg. Really interesting how they did that. Really sci-fi, very sci-fi,
like he went a different way.
Yeah, difference in time, different, choosing a different path, like a butterfly effect, right? Yeah. Branching off, how does this play out differently? So that was really interesting. Selfish if
you think about it. Like, he was more caring about what he wanted to fix his mistake, because then he didn't want his, he didn't want to lose his friend. He wanted to make sure everybody got back. Where the other one was like, I need to fix this now. Like, let's get everybody out now.
So it kind of shows you that that theme and message of, when is it time to move on, right? Past a mistake. Can you fix every mistake? Maybe you can't fix every mistake. So how do you move forward now in the present moment? Really powerful theme and message there. So I like how it played with the theme and the message there. So I did like that part to it, but just back to the character though, I really like Zurg as a villain character. I've just always really liked Zurg, and now it kind of feels like what they did in Iron Man 3 with the Mandarin reveal, like, oh no, this is really the actual Mandarin. It was kind of one of those moments where I was like, oh really? No, really? Now this is Zurg.
It was kind of a little bummed. Yeah.
So I was bummed out personally by it. Amazing Anna, were you okay with that decision they made with the twist and all of that?
It kind of brought a lot of, futuristic movies, like, or shows that you see, like, always the villain is the future self of them or something, trying to destroy them. Like Futurama, right? Where they're trying to destroy, but I'm the future this, like, we need to change this. So I didn't really care about that. Like, I wanted the villain to be somebody else, kind of,
I would have just been okay with it being the traditional Zurg,
Star Wars kind of thing.
Well, that's how Buzz Lightyear was kind of set up, that kind of that dynamic,
like Star Wars theme kind of thing. Like, we got Darth Vader over here. You thought like it.
Well, it basically kind of ended up being Darth Vader, right? Like, I am your father, like,
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah.
So they had that
I thought
dynamic
it was
at
gonna
play
be
with
like
it.
his dad or something like that, you
Oh,
know?
yeah.
I thought it was gonna. We thought it was gonna be like,
You
his
know what?
dad or some kind of
I would have been maybe,
relative, or
yeah.
the friend in the future
Hmm.
or something. You know, I didn't expect him to be just him.
Yeah, I would have been maybe okay with a different person in the
Mm-hmm.
Zurg costume. I think that
Yeah,
may have been a little bit better, but being Buzz Lightyear himself, I don't know. To me, I wasn't a big fan.
it was the
I wanted traditional Zurg.
selfish
Yes.
personality.
And then, of course, Zurg had his little minion robot monster. So that's
Yeah.
basically your villains you get in this movie. All right, so then let's get to our question 5 here. What did we think of the overall animation style here, the different environments they went to? So I actually liked it. You know, it's a little different. It was different from the Toy Story
Mm-hmm.
vibe, right? It was a whole
Mm-hmm.
different animation
Mm-hmm.
style. So I'm okay with them doing something a little bit different here.
Mm-hmm.
So I was okay with the animation style. I think there was a lot of good details to the characters. I mean, they really fleshed out some of these environments. Like, you can see a lot of little details in the characters and just the planets they went to and different places they went to on the planets.
Yeah.
So I think, I thought they did a pretty good job with the animation style, but just know it's something different. So you got to kind of be prepared for that. Amazing Anna, how'd you like the animation style and the different environments in the movie?
I really liked it. I actually they made it kind of look realistic. The toys a little bit
More
realistic.
realistic, yeah.
If you're ever seen Jimmy Neutron, you've seen the cartoon and then you've seen the movie, it's like
Mhm.
completely different. It's more realistic. The movie's like more realistic, where the show was more cartoony, kind of related to that. So the Toy Stories were like cartoony, and then you see this one's a little bit more realistic, more like three-dimensional kind of way. So I really liked it. I felt like I was in the movie itself, so I really liked the animation overall. I think they do a good job. Come on, you can't complain about Pixar animation. They got
They
some
do
good
know how to
artists over
animate
there. They
up
got
there.
some good
They
artists.
got good animators. They
Yeah,
absolutely
like you.
they never get that wrong.
No,
That is
no,
absolutely for
that's what they
sure.
get paid for, to do a good job. So I really like them.
All right, perfect. This gets us to our sixth question here. Did it live up to what the trailers promised us? Now, I saw the trailer many, many times. I go to the theaters all the time, so I would always see the trailer on the big screen. So I felt the trailers were really promising a deep story, a very dramatic kind of story, something that would be a little bit more somber. Basically, what the first 10, 15 minutes of this movie was. But I thought it was going to be more of that. But then it changes on us. Then it gets into, more of a space adventure story. But
Mhm.
it's still a kid's film. It's definitely a kid's film for this movie. You know what? The trailers did give us a lot to the movie. I felt like a lot was revealed
Mhm.
in the trailers.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
you know what? I do think the movie fairly matched up to the trailers. But Amazing Anna, what'd you think of it?
So I do go to the movies a lot, not as much as he does. So I try to stay away from trailers as much. I learned from him, you don't really want to watch trailers because it kind of ruins a lot. It gives you a lot. And I've been really paying attention to trailers lately, and I noticed with the movie that it does give you a lot away. Like, you're basically watching the movie in less than a minute or so in that trailer, and I don't like that, because then why am I paying to go see the movie? So I kind of stayed away from the trailer. I just saw it recently just to kind of help me see what the trailer was about, and it basically told the whole story
Hmm.
in this trailer. I even some of the funny parts, and that's when I was like, oh man, like, I'm so glad I did not see the trailer before I went to go see the
Yeah, because if
movie,
it gave away
because
those jokes early
yeah, I
on,
wouldn't
maybe
have
wouldn't be.
laughed.
Yeah,
I
I wouldn't
wouldn't
be
have not liked
laughing.
the characters that I like now, like it would have
Hmm.
changed my total aspect of what I thought about this movie. So um, if the expectations, I guess, yeah, because it gave away the movie. But again, I saw the movie before I saw the trailer, because I know how these trailers are. There's some trailers I'll want to watch just to watch, that I feel like won't give a lot, or is a
Hmm.
long movie. This one was a very short movie, so that's why I was like, nope, I'm not gonna watch the trailer. So yeah, I did live up not to my expectations because I saw the movie. So
Hmm. But it did match up pretty clearly because you
yeah.
watched the trailer afterwards.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
if you
yeah.
were excited about the trailer, you really liked the trailer, then yeah, you're definitely getting a movie about that.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah,
mhm.
nothing's gonna change. The only thing that's gonna change is who the villain is. But again, we spoiled it already. We told you who the villain is, so it's kind of
Yeah.
like...
And I know to me, I wasn't a massive fan of the trailer. I thought it was all right.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it did basically deliver on what it was. But let's get into our next question here because this leads perfectly into this. So this is our 7th question here. Did it meet our expectations? Just in general, was our expectations met by going to see this movie? So I'm a Pixar fan as well. There's a lot of Pixar movies I do enjoy. Coco is one of my favorites. I mean, Coco is like so good. Finding Nemo is a great movie. So when I think really top tier Pixar, those are kind of the movies that pop in my mind. And so when I see the Pixar name behind an animation title, I do get a little bit more excited just with the Pixar name because I do prefer Pixar movies over just Disney Studio movies. I do really like Pixar. So I was a little bit more excited for it in terms of hoping it was going to be really great quality. But to me, unfortunately, it did not live up to, higher expectations. To me, mid-tier Pixar. I wouldn't put it top tier for me personally. Amazing Anna, how does this one kind of rank for you? And were your expectations met?
I don't have a rank for it. It wasn't my favorite. So I can't rank it.
Well, what are some of your favorite Pixars?
I liked it. I liked that I went to go see it. I think it was a good movie. Pixar doesn't fail me, But again, I said I wasn't gonna watch it again. It's a good movie. It did not beat Coco. It did not beat Up. Did not beat Finding Nemo. It was a good movie. It was a good movie. It was a good movie to go see, to go, oh, what do you want to do Saturday night today? Kind of go plan a little date to go see it, or with your kids to go see this movie.
A pass the time kind of movie.
Yeah, it was a good movie. It could have been, you could have streamed it.
But
to be honest, why did you stream Encanto?
Ooh,
like,
that's a good
Encanto
question.
was a better movie.
I like Encanto better, yep.
And that would have been worth watching in the theaters instead of this movie.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I did like Encanto better.
We don't talk about Bruno, no. We don't talk about Buzz Lightyear, no.
And so, wow. So this movie does not get to the movie theater
and
level.
Turning Red. That would have been a movie I would have seen in the trailers.
Oh, you like Turning Red better. Yeah. I like this better than Turning Red.
Oh.
I liked it better than Turning Red. I was not a fan of Turning Red. Yeah. I was not a fan of Turning Red, but this movie...
Female. It relates a little bit to me, but that's another conversation for another day.
Yes. So, this Lightyear movie, it looks like we're kind of in the same range here. We thought it was... Well, you're saying you liked it.
I liked it. It was a good movie
to me, it was all right.
I would have streamed it.
Okay.
I would have streamed it.
So, both for us... maybe you don't really have to go out to the theater for this one. Wait till it gets to streaming.
No. I know I did said earlier, you can go watch it in the theater. I'm contradicting myself. Yeah, you kind of can go watch it in theaters, but overall, you still can stream it. It is a streaming movie.
So we're both in agreement, not top tier.
No, it's just not
Pixar.
top tier. Yeah, it's just
but it's not bottom.
No,
either, right?
No.
It's not a Good Dinosaur or a Cars 2 or 3.
Okay, yeah, Cars 3. The Good Dinosaur I like.
You like Good Dinosaur better than Lightyear?
I cried. I cried in that movie. I cried in that movie.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that means you really didn't like Lightyear. No,
I like Lightyear. I just we categorize our movies differently.
Wow.
We just categorize
She's a massive Pixar fan. Yeah. Okay, I thought I was a Pixar fan, but I'm a little bit more... I like certain Pixar movies. There's some that are like the Luca ring. Okay.
Pixar, especially with the original on Bug's Life with the little lamp going on the eye, going back to Bug's Life.
So for you, Pixar is always either like or love.
Yeah.
For me, it can be just trash or amazing. One of the best movies I've ever seen.
Big fan of Pixar.
So I have a bigger range. Okay, so you liked it a little bit more than me, it seems.
With the eye jumping on, the little lamp jumping on.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I don't think they do that one anymore. They used to do that one.
It's more animated.
Yeah, they don't do that one anymore, but I always remember that intro to the Pixar movies back in the day before Disney got a hold of them. They used to do that.
Yeah.
All right. So, wow. Looks like you liked it a little bit more, but didn't love it.
No.
Me, I was more like, it was all right. You know what? I enjoyed the movie experience of going to the theater to see it. I could, probably say that kids would really enjoy it. I think it would be a good family movie.
I really hope, I wish that they had like some kind of cool cups or popcorn, I guess, when we went to the theater. That would have been cool, like, come on, Disney, step up the game. Maybe more people would have gone to go see the movie.
Oh, and we'll get to that in a little bit. And you know what? Even though I think some kids would enjoy this one. Now I'm thinking about it again. I'm wondering if I want to retract that answer because now I'm starting to think about it. Was there enough adventure and action in this movie? Because we did have some dramatic moments. I wonder if that's going to be a cause of that. So I wonder if kids would enjoy this one as I initially thought. Well, let's get into our next question here. This is going to be our question 8. How do we compare this to the other Toy Story movies, right? This is a big franchise here. Now, I love the Toy Story movies. I have them all on 4K Steelbook. I'm a big Toy Story fan. I really like the first one. The third one's probably my favorite, actually. Second, still really good. The fourth one even was really good. I mean, I was really shocked that they were able to keep it going so long and make a fourth one, but it was still a really good movie. I like all the Toy Story movies way more than this movie. To me, Toy Story is top tier Pixar. So, in comparison, for me, in my ranking, my list, Lightyear would be clear bottom by a mile for this franchise. How about you, Amazing Anna? How would you compare it to the other Toy Story movies?
To be honest, how would you ask me that question? We already know that Toy Story is the best. Like,
no chance for Lightyear.
I really like Toy Story. I grew up watching Toy Story. I had brothers that watched Toy Story and were a big fan of Woody. I love Bullseyes. I love the characters in Toy Story. It had a lot of personality. The Buzz Lightyear had a lot of personality. When you see Buzz Lightyear, it's a whole different other thing. And again, remember, this movie is supposed to be why Andy got Buzz Lightyear, right? And when Buzz Lightyear was first introduced in Toy Story, he was overly confident, and all about me kind of thing. So I kind of see why.
So some of the traits match up between the Buzz Lightyear.
It's kind of making me like, oh, okay, this is why he's acting this way. Oh, okay, like this is why some people don't really like Buzz. But then later on in the movie, it was like, oh, I really like Buzz as a character. I really like him. This, again, the Toy Stories, no matter what, are going to be better.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, no matter what, you can't beat the classics. I'm sorry to say. Yes, there is new movies that are coming out that are better and that are good, but not the best.
Yeah, so I really like the Toy Story movies more. And I'm trying to think, why do I like the Toy Story movies more? I just think the messages and themes in there, the story, the characters, about growing up, and the connection with all the toy characters, but then like knowing like, hey, you grow up at a certain point, you gotta let go of them. Hey, but then what if the toys were real and had, how would they feel about it too? I really like that kind of story. I think that's a very interesting story. So this was a little bit more, this is just like a space adventure.
Like Toy Story is. Toy Story is personal.
And Toy Story is a really unique story. Yeah.
Like, who does not have that special one thing that you grew up with, That one thing that you either talked to or felt as a comfort, you know. And this movie wasn't really connect. There was some messages, but it wasn't really connecting.
Not as emotionally
and not personal
connective.
connection. There wasn't a big personal connection to me. I don't think. I don't know for you.
No.
So maybe there is people that did connect to this that might love this.
I
movie,
connected to socks.
You know,
that's about it. Socks the robot cat.
Yeah, you do
that's
act
about
like
it.
a robot sometimes. But yeah, I think there was just no personal connection.
Yeah,
like the Toy Story movies are.
Yeah, so definitely Lightyear would be at bottom of the list for us. But once again, this movie is a way completely different movie than the Toy Story movie. So just know that going into this movie. But let's take a look at our ninth question here. What did we think of the Rotten Tomatoes score for this movie? So for the critic response, it's about 70-something%. But audience score, of course, higher in the 80%. Now, it may have changed a little bit since the last time I checked it, but that puts it way below the other Toy Story movies. So the other Toy Story movies are all like high 90%. I may even think maybe one or two of them are 100%, but they're really high up there. I know they're at least high 90%, if not some of them, some 100% in there. So the critics definitely like the Toy Story movies a lot more than Lightyear. So Lightyear, to me, being about that, below, even below 80%, to me, that's not a good sign for Lightyear. Now, for some movies, that would actually be really good. Like, some movies would really love a score above that. But, once again, if you compare it to Toy Story movies, it's a lot lower score. Amazing, Anna. Are you surprised by getting a lower score than the other Toy Story movies? Like a way lower score than them?
Oh, no. Not at all. Again, this is more of a family friend, kid movie that, you know, a lot of kids are going to probably enjoy because it is animated and it's Buzz Lightyear. Who does not like Buzz Lightyear, you know? And it's in space. I love space. If you don't like space, then we need some space. So, but I'm not surprised at all. I am not surprised at all.
Yeah, I wonder what went wrong here, though, with the story for the critics to not like it. Because it feels like this movie was trying to make a big dramatic play at the beginning.
I think overall there was just no personal connection.
It just didn't pay off by then.
No connection whatsoever.
That's not good.
No, I don't think I don't think in this movie there was just no connection. Ooh. Yes, you see people grow up and they get older and then they eventually, you know, end up dying. Yes. But that's a part of life. That's something that we, you know, as humans learn to adapt and grow on that and know on that. So I think that there just wasn't that strong connection. Like, oh my God, that is like, you relate to that. You reminisce on memories off that. Like, there just wasn't that strong connection, I feel.
Oh, so maybe when they were making this movie, they thought they were going to have some really good connection here, but I guess they just didn't pull it off. Ooh, that's not good. But that explains why the score is definitely lower than the other Toy Story movies, because for Toy Story movies, you know you're going to be getting teary-eyed in all those Toy Story movies, no matter what, without fail. So, yeah, this one to me, it's like maybe some people will, but a large chunk of people, I don't think will have that connection like you were saying. All right, so this gets to our question 10 now here, our final question. Got to talk about the box office results here. And this is not good for this movie. This movie only got $55 million about opening weekend. Ooh, this is not good because they were actually projecting a little bit higher. They were projecting like 15 to 20 million higher for this. And usually movies will come around right at those projections, or maybe a little bit above it, maybe a little bit below, but not this much below. That's weird. This is and it's an animated movie, so usually animated movies do really good. You bring out the whole families. Father's Day weekend, right? You know, father, bring out the family to this movie, right? Ooh, what went wrong here with this box office? Amazing, Anna. Why do you think it didn't live up to expectations now in terms of audience going out to see this? Because our theater had what, like 4 other people in it?
Yeah.
Me, you, and just one other group, right? I mean, it really wasn't much people at all. Why didn't this movie get people out to the theaters?
Because gas is too expensive.
Maybe that's a part of it.
But when they could just watch it at home and pay it towards the movie and just own the movie instead of paying for going gas. Who wants to go out right now?
Well, there are some other movies, though, people do use their gas on, right? Other movies have done good. Top Gun Maverick did great.
I guess it wasn't advertised like it should have been. Of course, who's not gonna watch Top Maverick? Like, you even got me to watch it, and I didn't even watch the original, and I did now before I went to go see the new one, obviously. But I think it just wasn't advertised as much. And then people are on vacation right now. This is vacation time, But
to me, that means they would more likely go out to the movie, get out of the heat. It's summer.
That like to watch movies. Maybe it's because it's barely starting right now, and because gas did get really high right now. Maybe, and not trying to talk about that yet, because that should not matter, but it does kind of matter.
But people went out to Top Gun Maverick. People even went out to Jurassic World Dominion.
And I guess it was just not projected as the other movies. Advertised, at least. Because
this movie had no competition this weekend. We already had Jurassic World Dominion open the weekend before, and that got really bad critic ratings. So even though it did still bring in some more money second weekend, there was still a drop-off with it. You would think a brand new movie opening up. It's a Pixar movie, well-known studio.
People are
Toy Story related, right? Got Buzz Lightyear. How many people love Buzz Lightyear? Everybody likes Buzz Lightyear. I mean, so what went wrong with this movie? I'm still trying to.
People are still stuck on Jurassic Park. Or Jurassic World.
So you think
still watching that movie?
So you think
they're a little behind?
So you think Jurassic World Dominion, took a bite out of Lightyear's box office? You would say
just releasing it every weekend, and then next weekend is already Elvis.
Next weekend, and Black Phone. It's a big weekend. Big weekend next weekend.
It's like you could have came out maybe not the same time as Thor, because obviously Thor's gonna win.
No, you don't want to compete against that.
You could have came out maybe during Christmas time and make it just a little Christmas movie. Or
I don't see
you
this
could have just streamed. You could have just streamed.
They want to make money though, so the studio needs to release the movie.
They don't even make any money right now.
They made $55 million.
But how much did it cost to make the movie?
Like $200 million.
So, did they really make any money?
They might. In the long run, I think they could still make some money.
The animators, because they get paid to do the job.
Well, I'm still trying to wrap my head around this, because to me, I see so many positives going in for this movie. And I think this was actually a good release strategy, being Father's Day weekend. I feel like this was probably the best weekend to come out, right? No competition, really. I mean,
the father relationship to it, but I don't think a lot of people probably didn't.
So maybe, like you were saying, they did not market correctly. Maybe the trailers weren't selling other people on it, but I know some people really love the trailers. I didn't really love the trailer. I thought it was all right, but some people loved the trailers. So what was it? Because a lot of the other animated movies did good, like The Bad Guys. And I didn't think that was that great of a movie.
Oh, yeah.
That movie did great.
But
box office wise.
Because it's a book. People, relate to it.
But this is connected to Toy Story. This is Buzz
Jurassic World. They're still stuck on that.
So you think that was that really prevented it?
Gas being too expensive now.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to give that excuse to the movie, because people will still go out to see a good movie.
You're right.
Top Gun Maverick has been making tons of money. And people are willing to spend gas on that. So that's a really good movie.
Maybe they're still stuck on that movie, too. Maybe people are still going to watch that movie.
Not a bad premise. I maybe would have wanted to see that a third time.
I would totally go see that movie again. I would totally go
Top Gun Maverick has the rewatchability.
But because there's a connection to it. We connected to it.
So better character connection, more emotion.
More emotion to it. What is it called? There's a term for it. It starts with the P. The way the tone, the way you read a tone, affects people. Yeah,
but that shouldn't have hurt the opening weekend though. Now that may hurt upcoming weekends, because now people have seen the movie. Now we do our reviews, our critic response, all of that. So I feel like that could hurt like a second weekend. But for it to be opening weekend, yeah, there's some reviews ahead of time. So there's some people that are still, are going to not go because of the reviews. But for a family animated movie, I'm still pretty shocked that it couldn't do a little bit better, even meet at least its projections. I still don't get this one. I don't know why. Even though I didn't connect to the movie, I still feel like people would have given it a chance on the name alone. This is Lightyear. But people didn't. People did not. So I don't know what happened with this one. And so this is our 10 discussion questions here. Let us know in the comments below, what did you think of the movie Lightyear? Have you seen it already? What did you enjoy about it? Or if you didn't really like it, what didn't you like about it? Let's have all those movie discussions down below. Also, once again, throw up those likes to the video. Definitely throw up some likes there. And of course, this is Mega Mike, the Movie Man, reminding you to make every day a movie day.